Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Bebo. In this video, we're taking a look at equations that involve parentheses. These are some more story problems, and these ones are definitely much more tricky when it comes to setting them up and solving. Both of the examples I'm going to show you in this video are like puzzles in a way, where we really have to take it step by step to walk through these questions. So you'll notice that for both of these examples that I already have the steps written out for us. So if you need to pause the video to write those steps down, it wouldn't be a bad idea because they really are tricky, and you're going to see what I mean in a minute as I read through this question. So for this first example in this video, it says Pierre uses two rectangular pieces of paper as bookmarks. The width of bookmark B is equal to the length of bookmark A. The length of bookmark B is equal to half the perimeter of bookmark A. The perimeter of bookmark A is 14 centimeters. What is the perimeter of bookmark B? So like I said, that's a lot of information. And we do have this diagram here though that tells us that we do know that the width of bookmark A is 2.5 centimeters, but we know absolutely nothing about bookmark B other than some of this cryptic information that's written inside the story problem. We also know that we're working with perimeter, so you'll notice in this little cloud that I have at the top of the screen that I remind us of what our formula is for the perimeter of a rectangle. So we can either think of it as 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, or we could use parentheses and think of it as 2 multiplied by the quantity of the length plus the width. Or if you really want to, you could think of it as length plus width plus length plus width. All of those are exactly the same thing. So let's take this step by step. So step 1 states that the problem is telling us that the perimeter of bookmark A is 14 centimeters. So we're going to use this information to find the length of bookmark A. That's the first thing we need to do. So we can write down that we know, again, the perimeter is 14. So we're going to have 14 equals, and I'm going to go ahead and use the parenthesis form of our perimeter formula, so 2, and in parentheses we're going to have the length, which is unknown, plus our width, which we do know is 2.5, which I'm just going to go ahead and write it as a decimal. And now at this point we're going to solve for L. So we know to solve this we can divide both sides by 2. We'll have 7 equals the length plus this 2.5. And to get L by itself, we're going to subtract 2.5 from both sides of our equation here. So subtract 2.5, subtract 2.5, and we find that the length of bookmark A is going to be 4.5 centimeters, right? So this is the length of bookmark A. So now step 2, it says the problem states that the length of bookmark B is half the perimeter of bookmark A. So if we know that the length of bookmark B is half the perimeter of bookmark A, which we know that perimeter is 14, we now know that the length of bookmark B is 7 centimeters, right? So we have this here now we know is 7 centimeters. The problem also states in step 3 here, the problem states that the width of bookmark B is the same as the length of bookmark A. So we already found, right? That's why we did that in step 1. We found the length of bookmark A. So the width then is going to be 4.5 centimeters. And now all we have to do is add up all of our sides, or again, we can throw it into our formulas that we have at the top of the screen here, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to write P equals 2, and then the length again we found was 7 because it was half the perimeter of bookmark A, and we have our width, and that is the same as bookmark A, so we were able to get that as 4.5. And now it's just a matter of solving this, right? So we're going to do the 4.5 plus 7, P equals 2 times 11.5, and then this ends up being 23. So 23 centimeters is the perimeter of bookmark B. So a little bit cryptic of a story problem, but again, just like with any story problem, break it down step by step, reread the information that's given to you, and just do the best you can with it. So 23 centimeters is the answer for this example. So we have another one that's a very similar situation where it's a little tricky because they give us quite a bit of information inside of that story problem. So let's take a look. So this one says Wendell and Katie have bedrooms with the same perimeter. Katie's bedroom has a width 1 1/3 times the width of Wendell's bedroom. What is the length L of Katie's bedroom? So step 1, it says in the problem that Katie's bedroom has a width that is 1 1/3 times the width of Wendell's. So we can use that to help us figure out the width of Katie's room. So we're going to do 1 1/3 times the width of Wendell's, because they do tell us that the width of Wendell's is 9 feet, right? If I take a look at this image here, 9 feet is the width. So 1 1/3 times 9. This just goes back to multiplying with fractions, so we'll have to write this as 4/3, multiply by 9/1. We can actually do some cross canceling here, which is nice. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, 9 divided by 3 is 3, and so 4 times 3 is 12. And again, this is going to be the width of Katie's room. Okay, so that was step 1. We got 12 feet for the width of Katie's room. Now, we can use the information from the picture to find the perimeter of Wendell's bedroom, because Katie's bedroom has the same perimeter as well. So for Wendell's bedroom, we know that the width and length are 9 and 11, so P equals 2, and then in parentheses, we can do 11 plus 9. So this is going to be 2 times 20, and so we get 40 feet as the perimeter. Katie's has the same perimeter. So we can now use what we did from step 1 and step 2 to figure out the length of Katie's bedroom. So perimeter equals 2, again in parentheses, length plus width. So the perimeter we know is 40 since it's the same as Wendell's. And then we have 2, and then in parentheses we don't know what L is, but we do know that the width is 12 feet. So now to solve, we can either distribute. You could distribute the 2 to everything inside the parentheses, or we can just go through and divide both sides by 2, which is what I'm going to do here. So we'll have 20 equals L plus 12. We're going to subtract 12 from both sides as our final step, and we find out that the length of Katie's bedroom is 8 feet. And that's it for that question. So hopefully that helps you with some of those more involved 2-step equation story problems that include parentheses in them. As always, thanks for watching.